7 years old, and my older brother Paul and I had just made the trip for the first time from where we lived with my mother in Memphis, Tennessee, down to Houma, Louisiana, to spend 6 weeks of our summer vacation with my father, my stepmother Debbie, my little brother Gabriel, my little brother Garrett, and my little sister Gina. Now, for those of you who don't know, Houma, Louisiana is about an hour south of New Orleans, and to a 7-year-old tomboy, it was a little bit like heaven. They lived in this great big old plantation house that had real secret passageways. They were servant passageways, but we did not know that at the time. And in the backyard bordering it, there was this huge sugarcane field where we had huge bonfires. Beyond that, you had the woods where we found the muskrat graveyard, which is just like an elephant graveyard, but for muskrats. And behind that, you had the bayou. Now this is marshland. This is swamp country. So they got all kinds of critters we don't have up here. They had gators, water moccasins, leeches, lizards, and bugs. A lot of bugs. Big bugs. They had dragonflies whose wingspan was as big as the palm of your hand. And they had fireflies, which are still personally my favorite bug. And they had less charming bugs as well, though. They had ticks and mosquitoes and cockroaches. A shit ton of cockroaches. But because cockroaches are a given in swamp country, the good people of Louisiana had a myriad of ways of combating them. We had regular visits from our Orkin man, Ted. We had roach motels, and we had tar traps. Now, a tar trap is a piece of paper covered in tar, and when a roach or a mouse or a lizard would run across it, they get stuck, and they eventually starve to death, and then they decompose. It's like flypaper, but for your floor. And it was this particular brand of pest control that would set off a series of events that would change who I was as a child and who I eventually became as an adult. And this is that story. Now, when my brothers and I weren't out playing in the sugarcane field, we were inside playing video games, which in my mother's house in Memphis were verboten, so it was very exciting. And on this day, I just beat my little brother Gabriel in level 4-3 of the original Super Mario Brothers, and he was so outraged by my success that he went and grabbed the tar trap and stuck it right on the crown of my head. Now, I spent the next several hours having the contents of a salad bar massaged into my scalp. My stepmother Debbie, she tried everything. She tried olive oil, she tried mayonnaise, she tried peanut butter, but in the end it was no good, and they had to cut it out. And because my little brother Gabriel had expertly placed it right on the part in my hair, that meant I got a buzz cut. But you don't need hair to build a sugarcane fort, so it didn't bother me at all until 2 weeks later when my stepmother Debbie announced that she had had it up to here with us and sent my brother Paul and I to day camp. Day camp. Now, I was only 7, but I knew that I might be in for some trouble. So on that first day of day camp, I took particular care with my appearance. I wore a little pink dress, and I carried a little Hello Kitty coin purse, and I had a little pink barrette clinging desperately to the small amount of hair I had. I took a deep breath, and I stepped into the gym. Kids were everywhere, and then I heard Counselor Trent. Boys line! Girls line! So I made my way over to the end of the girls line. And I sat down, and I smiled at the girls who turned around to stare at me. And then this one girl who looked like Lucy from the Peanuts comic strip, she turned around to me and she looked at me, and then she looked at my hair, and then she said, this is the girls line, the boys line is over there. So my outfit had not worked, and now everybody thought I was a 7-year-old crossdresser. But then, Counselor Trent announced that we were going to play prison ball! And it just so happened that I just so happened to be really good at prison ball. The balls are flying, kids were dropping like flies, and then I heard Marissa say, oh no, Melissa's been hit. I didn't stop, I didn't think, I Marissa. And she flipped her perfect ponytail and went to hang out with the Lucy gang. Side note, until 3 years ago, I had never been able to be friends with anybody named Marissa. The next day, Counselor Trent announced that we would be playing a camp-wide game called Gold Digger! Now, the rules of Gold Digger are as follows. The goal is for your team to collect the most pieces of gold by the end of the game. However, some pieces of gold are fool's gold. Now, you can tell a piece of fool's gold because it's marked with a black dot on the bottom like so. Now, you pick up a piece of fool's gold, you going to jail. You going to jail. And the only way you can get out of jail is for your teammates to spend 7 pieces of real gold on your bail. Understood? Are we ready? I said, are you ready? I said, are you ready? Yeah! I have a plan. 1, to not go to jail. 2, collect enough pieces of gold to buy the affection of those little bitches. Let's play Gold Digger! I took off running. I grabbed the first piece of gold I saw. I flipped it over and black dot. I threw it and started to run. Melissa, that was fool's gold. You gotta go to jail. No, it wasn't, Counselor Trent. You were mistaken. You gotta go to jail. No, Counselor Trent, you don't understand. I can't go to jail. I won't ever get out. Your teammates can bail you out, but they won't, Counselor Trent. Nobody likes me because I don't have any hair. Tough kidding. Go to jail. You know, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that there's no way that grown man just yelled tough titty at a 7-year-old girl. But let me remind you, this was the 1980s, and it was Louisiana. Jail. Jail was in the nursery, but there were no little kids in it or anything. And it was air conditioned, so it was real cold. And it had that air conditioner smell, you know, like cold, wet metal. The loneliest smell in the world. And there was nobody else in jail except for me. Well, and this impossibly old woman sitting in a rocking chair in the corner, but she didn't even talk to me or anything. I think she was probably just there to make sure that I didn't die, but it seemed just as likely that I might have to return the favor. And there are no real toys in jail, which is baby toys, you know, like a puzzle that isn't even really a puzzle because the cow-shaped piece, it just fits into the cow-shaped hole, and the chicken-shaped piece, it fits into the chicken-shaped hole. That was really boring, too. And everybody else, they must have been real good at Gold Digger, because I remember being alone almost the entire time. And then occasionally a kid would come in, but then their teammates would come and bail them out before they even sat down. At one point, my big brother Paul came in. Now, I love my big brother Paul, and he loves me, but he was 9. It's not like he was going to look at me and say, "Lissy, you are enough." He was gone as quickly as he came. I don't know how long that game lasted. To my 7-year-old self, it felt like an eternity. And worse, when the game was over, they forgot to come get me. And by the time old Skin and Bones in the corner over there told me I could go, they'd already announced the winners and everybody gone off the cafeteria for lunch. I remember stepping out of that cold, dim nursery into the hazy sunlight, and the heat and the humidity just knocked all the breath out of me. I was free, but I wasn't the same. My time in jail had changed me. And it had. That arbitrary hate that I received from my peers and the malicious indifference of the adults that I had thought would protect me. And that shame that I had felt there in my isolation. It was the end of my childlike trust in the kindness of the world. But my hair grew back. And that blind trust was eventually replaced with an open-eyed hope. And it got easier.